Hello friends, I'm Doug Terrell, and this is History and Comments. Today is Wednesday, the 25th day of August. In the year 1609, astronomer, engineer, physicist, and father of modern science, Galileo demonstrates his telescope to the folks in Venice, Italy. Galileo got into some trouble with church officials when he proposed that the sun was the center of our solar system versus the earth. Galileo was his first name. Galilei was his surname, with a whole string in the middle. James Lick is born in 1769 in Pennsylvania. He learns woodworking and carpentry at a young age, meets a piano maker in New York City, and quickly applies his woodworking skills to that trade. In his mid-20s, he hears that his instruments are in demand in South America, and for the next couple of decades, he lives in various countries there. With the outbreak of the Mexican-American War and the prospect of California becoming a state, he relocates to the village of San Francisco with his tools, workbench, and personal funds in gold valued at nearly $3 million in today's prices, and 600 pounds of a South American staple, chocolate. The chocolate sold out quickly, and Lick sent for his former neighbor in Peru, Dominic Girardelli, to move to San Francisco. But chocolate is not Lick's claim to fame. With cash in hand, he purchases land in the tiny settlement. The fact that he arrived days before gold was found and the California gold rush set off was pure luck. If $3 million wasn't a tidy sum, Lick grew it several-fold and gave much of it to a number of philanthropic projects. Lick Observatory was one of his favorite projects and was the largest reflecting telescope when it was constructed. Lick is buried at that site. In 1814, the second day of burning in Washington, D.C., the British are busy. Today's targets are the Library of Congress, the United States Treasury, and the Department of War, along with a few other public buildings. Allan Pinkerton is born in Glasgow, Scotland in 1819. Trained as a cooper or a barrel maker, he immigrates to the States in 1842 and settles northwest of Chicago. He seems to have stumbled into detective work and excelled at it. Pinkerton was working security for Abraham Lincoln's train trip from Illinois to Washington, D.C., thwarting an assassination attempt in Baltimore. Pinkerton will be responsible for a large portion of Union intelligence during the Civil War and took personally that he was not there to prevent the shooting at Ford's Theater. After the war, Pinkerton will be occupied tracking train robbers. While he was the genesis of the Pinkerton detectives, he passed before the agency got a bit overzealous in strike-breaking. In 1835, the usually serious newspaper, the New York Sun, publishes the first of 6 articles in the Great Moon Hoax, claiming that astronomers had discovered life and civilizations on the moon. A few other notables from the Sun: Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus, was a Sun editorial, and Rube Goldberg was a staff cartoonist. The National Park Service was established in 1916. The Park Service oversees 410 parks and historical sites, some massive and some the size of a couple of city lots. The 4 largest are in Alaska. George Rogers Clark National Memorial at Vincennes, Indiana is 20 acres, and I'm certain there are smaller. Glasgow native actor Sean Connery is born in 1930. It is said the Irish Sea is rather narrow unless you are in either Ireland or Scotland. His paternal family had immigrated from County Wexford, Ireland, and the name certainly bears out the Irish roots. Nonetheless, his acting credits certainly place him high among A-list actors, and I'm partial to his role in Hunt for Red October. While we have all heard the name Connery, our next entry is less well known, and that's a shame. Humor writer Patrick F. McManus, and that's a blend of Irish and Scots for certain, is born in 1930. McManus's work started as a column in the 70s in Field and Stream magazine, and much of that work was compiled to several books known by such titles as A Fine and Pleasant Memory, They Shoot Canoes, Don't They?, Never Sniff a Gift Fish, and The Grasshopper Trap. Go beg, borrow a copy, or buy one for a fun evening of reading. Sharing a birthday with McManus is actor Tom Skerritt. Skerritt has had a steady career, if hardly stellar. There are two roles worth noting. He appeared in the MASH movie as Dr. Duke Forrest alongside Hawkeye and Trapper. Skerritt was offered to reprise the role in the TV series, but didn't think it would do well. I wonder if he regrets that decision. His other noteworthy role was also military, but this time Navy, as Commander Mike Viper Metcalf in Top Gun. KISS bassist and sometimes frontman Gene Simmons is 72. As outlandish as the rock group was in the 70s, Simmons in personal life is quite different. He's an Israeli-born Jew whose mother survived a Nazi concentration camp, and is also reported not to use drugs or alcohol. 1950, President Truman is dealing with the Korean War and has no time for a national railroad strike, so he orders the Army to seize control of the national railroads. British new wave rocker Elvis Costello is 67. In the You Can't Make This Up category, Costello's birth name is Declan Patrick McManus. I guess McManus is a better name for an author than a rocker. Country singer Billy Ray Cyrus is 60 today. Besides the near novelty song Achy Breaky Heart, Cyrus has had some chart successes and has frequently appeared in film and television acting roles. He is the father of Miley Cyrus, though there are reports he regrets her acting path. The Voyager 2 aircraft is streaking towards the outer reaches of our solar system in 1981 as it passes Saturn. 8 years later, it will pass Neptune. Two twin Voyager 1 passed beyond our solar system on this day in 2012. Both craft are still functional and over 11 billion miles from Earth. 1991, Linus Torvalds announces a computer operating system. It will become known as Linux and is still in use and has a respectable following. Not quite as user-friendly as its more well-known competition, Linux is more stable. And that's history. For August the 25th, I'm Doug Terrell. Now go and do something worth remembering.